Cousins, welcome back to yet another episode right here live from the headquarters. For this particular episode, we will be doing polygel nails, and I also will be doing a breakdown of a lot of tips and tricks when it comes to polygel and doing a lot of different techniques when it comes to polygel. Y'all know that it is now officially fall, so this will also be a fall set, and you will see me tie that in when it comes to designing. But first, we have to do prep. Now, we will be using these tips from Mother's House. You can find the brand Mother's House at Mother's House on Instagram. And any other products that you see me using from this particular brand, I will have the website somewhere for you on the screen. If you're interested, you can go and shop. I am using the 3XL tapered square nail tips. Now, the tips are super long, but we're not going to go for a long look. She kind of wanted to do like a medium long, so it's still like mid, but it's not too long. Now, before we officially dive into what's going on, I will just put this out here and say that my methods and the way I do things and what I use as far as products may not work for you, and that's fine. That's totally fine. But you have to understand that everything works differently for everybody. So any of the products that I use, the way I do things, if you recognize like, I don't really like that, or that doesn't work for me, I've tried that, again, that's fine. That is totally fine. Everything works differently for everybody. This is my headquarters. This is my way, my rules, and how I want things and how I do things. So I just want everybody to kind of keep that in mind. But other than that, let's get to it. Oh, and make sure you are subscribed to my channel so you don't miss a thing when I post, and be sure to follow me on all other platforms. Now we can get to it. So I'm going to right here, I'm using this KDS glue to apply these nail tips. I have already went in with my 120 sanding band and e-file, and I've already prepped the natural nail. I removed the natural nail shine. I went in with my cuticle pusher. I pushed the cuticles back from the nail plate so that the nail plate is free and that I can remove all the natural nail shine when it came to me using the e-file. So now we're just doing the tips. After applying the tips, I am going to go in with my tip cutter and we are going to cut the tips. Now, I know a lot of people use the magnet method, but me personally, I've been doing this for so long, I'm just like, I know where to cut. I seriously know where to cut. Again, that's just my rules, my way. That's just how I do it. I know a lot of people do use the magnet thing for precision mostly, but again, I'm like, I know where to cut. Seriously. So yeah, that's just that with that. A small little trick when it comes to me cutting with like the tip cutter for lengths, I do tend to cut a tad bit longer than the requested length. That way when I'm filing, I can just go in and file some of it off without filing too short. I hope that makes sense. Like if you cut the tip a tad bit longer than the requested length, and then when it's time to file, you can go in and have more room to file to the actual length that they requested. It makes it better versus cutting to the exact length. And then when you go in with the file, you didn't chop so much of the length off. You're like, dang, she asked me for a medium and it's a short. So that's just, you know, something that I've worked with over the years and it has helped me. Now, I do have some people be like, oh, can you cut them down a little bit more? But I have to explain to people like, when I'm cutting the nails, you have to understand that I do have to file twice. I have to go in and prep the tip. Then after I do the application, I have to file again. So the nail is going to be to the exact length that you want, but it's always good to go a tad bit longer. That way you can file it down to the exact desired length. I hope that makes sense. Now that we have the tips cut and the tips are on, we are going to go in with this 120 sanding band, and I'm just going to blend that tip with that natural nail. Now, I do know that a lot of y'all do not like the 120 sanding band thing when it comes to me and how I work with it, but hey, again, this is my rules, my way, my method. The 120 grit can be viewed as being on the harsh side of the scale if we're talking about grits of the file. But one thing here at the headquarters that I can say is that I take pride in making sure that the natural nail health comes first. And I can also verify and say that when I use the 120 sanding band, no one is in pain, no extra pressure is inflicted. None of that. When people come back for a fill-in and I happen to go in and remove the nail is still intact. The nail is completely healthy underneath. So yeah, I just want everybody to kind of do what works for them when it comes to certain things. A lot of people use the 80-80 file on the natural nail. Now, 80-80 for me, that's a little bit too harsh, but I don't judge anybody. Hey, just do as you please. Me personally, I just think a 120 gets the job done as far as me for prep. And also a 180 does work, a 240 does work. But me personally, I just go for the 120. Hey, that's just me. I'm not encouraging you to do that. I didn't tell you to do that. I'm not saying do that at all. I'm just saying this is what works for me. I'm just sharing that with you. It may work, it may not for you. I don't know. And if you look closely and tell, the nails are not under any stress. You can tell, like, if you're using your eval and the nails start turning red, you can tell the nails are under stress. That means it's a lot of pressure being inflicted. It's not good. But her nail beds are still white. And yeah, I'm using my eval on the lowest setting to get the job done. So yeah, I guess that's that. Now, after prepping the natural nail and blending the tip, and you don't have to file the whole entire tip. I just choose to do that. That's just me. I go in, file the entire tip, I add the C-curve. You don't have to do that. That's not mandatory. I just tend to do that, but again, you don't have to do that. Just make sure that the tip is blended seamlessly with the natural nail, and yeah, that's it, that's all. The liquid that I just sprayed was 70% alcohol. Here at the headquarters, I do use 70% alcohol as a natural dehydrator, so it can leave the nails with that chalky surface. After that, I am going in right here with this No Lift Nail Primer, and I'm going to prime the nails. The No Lift Nail Primer can be found linked to my Amazon storefront if you're interested in buying that and using that. But yeah, we're just going to evenly apply this on the nail. Make sure the entire nail, like the natural nail, is coated with the primer. You don't have to prime the entire tip. I would just prime where the natural nail and the tip meets, and then just prime the nail bed. That's it, that's all. Again, you can find this link to my Amazon storefront, or it may be at your local nail supply. If you have one near you, check in with them and see if they have it. But yeah, that's my prep as far as priming and dehydrating. Now with acrylic nails, that would have been the last step. Me using the primer, that would have been the last step. I would have went right into application. But since this is polygel, we are going to be going in right here using this base coat. It is recommended that you use base coat when you're doing polygel nails because gel bonds to gel. And I mean, the polygel will still bond to the nail even without the base coat, but it's very highly recommended that you use the base coat. It just makes the gel, in this case polygel, adhere to the nail better. So it's just recommended that you use it. Like when it comes to using any gel for that particular matter, they recommend you use base gel. That's why when you order a kit, they send in like if you order a polish kit, they will send you a bottle of base gel or foundation gel. It's the same term, but they'll send you a bottle of the foundation gel because they recommend that you use the base gel and then go in and do the gel polish. If you order a polygel nail kit, they will send you base gel because it's recommended that you go in first with the base gel, then you do the polygel. So yeah, that's just how that works. After applying the base coat, we will cure this in the lamp for about 120 seconds just to make sure it's fully cured. You do not want uncured gel on your nails. Make sure it is cured. Run it once or twice through the nail lamp if you have to. Uncured gel on the nail is bad business. So yeah, make sure you cure that gel. Moving on to application. For the actual polygel that we will be using, it's by the brand Mochi Gel and it's in the shade Bear. And as for my brush, I will be using this gel brush from the brand Valentino. It is not linked to my Amazon storefront. It was sent to me from the company personally as a gift. But you can find it on their website. I will have that somewhere on the screen for you. I know someone is going to ask me, what's the difference between the acrogel and the polygel? There's not much of a difference. Polygel is the same thing as acrogel because we do know that polygel is a mixture between acrylic powder and gel. And just basic knowledge, the word poly means many, so it's basically many things mixed to make this gel. So yeah, I hope that has helped somebody because I always get that question, what's the difference between polygel and acrogel? It's the same thing. It's the same exact thing. Also, some polygels are soak off, some are not. Mochi Gel is a brand that soaks. So if you're interested, you can find Mochi Gel at Mochi Gel on Instagram, and I will leave the website somewhere for you on the screen. Now, as for the actual application, as you can see, I do apply it thick. I know some of y'all can't get with that, but hey, again, that's just me. I do thick layers. I don't be wanting to deal with I don't need no nail chipping. I need everything to hold and to last. Like, I'm doing this nail and I'm just side-eyeing that pinky and I'm like, that pinky need a little bit more on that edge because it's looking a little thin, you know? But it's really, with polygel, it's just a patting motion. Like, you just have to kind of pat the gel into place. You have to really just build it. It's really different from acrylic because acrylic is going to self-level and kind of set on its own. With polygel, you gotta do the leveling. Like, you have to pat it into place, pat it into structure, get it together, all of that. And it won't set on its own. You have to cure it. It is gel. So don't just be like, okay, it's all done. I applied it. It's done. No, you have to cure this. Now, I am using my handheld lamp, but it is recommended that this is not enough. This is not enough. It is recommended that you use like the big lamp, like the hand one, like where you can stick your whole hand in there. I'm just using this handheld to kind of just speed up on the process. But once I get to the thumb and I'm done with the thumb application for this hand, I will then request for her to stick her whole hand in the lamp and let it cure for 120 seconds. You do not want uncured gel sitting on the nail. Contact dermatitis is real. Irritation is real. Infection is real. All of those things can happen and have happened to people. So make sure you are curing gel, any kind of gel, polygel, gel polish, base gel, 3D gel, any kind of gel. Just make sure you are curing it to the maximum. Me personally, I'm gonna cure it 2-3 times before I just be like, okay, it's done. But yeah, that's that on that. Now with polygel, I still do the 1 bead, the 1.5 bead method. But I was looking at the top part and I'm like, that top part looking a little thin. It ain't looking like it's supposed to up there at that cuticle area, and I don't like that. So here is where we do the 2 bead method. Now, as you can see, I did go in and cure the first bead. You cannot layer wet polygel. If the first bead is wet, you cannot go on top and add an extra layer and try to layer it. It's not gonna work. You're gonna lose the whole form that you just built. You have to cure the first bead, and then you go in with the second bead to do the layering. Again, make sure that first bead is cured. Then you go in with the second bead, wherever that may be. If you have to add some to the end or add some to the cuticle area, however, make sure the first bead is cured. Then you go in with the second bead, and then you just blend it that way. And as you can see, that blend, OMG, that went so well. Went in with my brush to kind of get it directly off of the cuticle. I want it to sit still on the nail plate. You don't want it to be flooding the cuticle. So just be mindful of the cuticle area when it comes to adding the second bead if you have to. But other than that, yeah. And then we're going to go in, we're going to cure this. Now I'm just curing this for 60 seconds. Again, when I get done, her whole hand will have to go underneath the lamp. I'm just curing this to kind of save on time. That way I won't have to put each individual finger in the lamp. Like, okay, do a nail, put it in the lamp. Do a nail, put it in the lamp. That's taking up too much time. Just use the handheld. And then when you get done with that hand, then you put that whole hand in the lamp. I hope that made sense. I hope that's making sense. Oh my God. Now for the next technique, we will be doing encapsulation. This is like my second time doing encapsulation with polygel. I've done encapsulation with acrylic 101 times, but this is like my second or third time with this. So yeah. Now to do the actual encapsulation, I am going to go in right here with a small thin layer of clear polygel by the brand KAAY. And we're just going to kind of lay this flat to the nail. It's really thin, but it's going to get the job done. And you'll see in just a second. We're just going to kind of lay it out. I did not put it all the way on the nail. As you can see, I kind of did like halfway up the nail. It's not to the cuticle area. It's just kind of like midway. In my personal opinion, you don't need it all the way up that high. Just kind of bring it down just like midway in between. Again, that's just my personal opinion. So I'm getting it together. I'm just trying to get it as flat as it can be. And then I'm going to go in right here with these like tiny little leaf decals. These are from Amazon. I don't know if they're linked to my Amazon storefront. I bought these like 2 years ago. And yeah, I don't know if they linked, but yeah. Now, as you can see, I did not cure the thin layer of polygel because it's acting as a glue. So you don't want to cure it yet. You want to leave it wet, leave it uncured. Put the decals on top of the wet polygel. In this case, we're encapsulating leaves. So we're just putting it on the wet polygel. That wet polygel is acting as a glue. And I'm just filling in this area to my desired amount. However much you want to put on there, that's fine. I don't really want it to look too like gapped, but you know, just want to do just enough. And where you're adding the decals, kind of press them into the gel just to kind of make them stick. That way nothing is kind of like sticking up or sticking out that much. Everything is kind of flat and flush as it can be. And then after that, then you're going to go in and cure that thin layer with the leaves attached to it. In this case, we're using leaves. So Then you're going to go in and use the handheld and cure that first thin layer, acting as a glue. Now the leaves are in place. After that is done, now you can go over it with a cover layer of polygel. In this case, we are just going to use clear. You can go in and do an ombre look if you would like, but again, in this case, we're just going to encapsulate it with clear. And then you're just going to form your structure over the encapsulated items. I hope that all of that made sense and that it has helped. Again, I've done this 101 times with acrylic, but this is polygel and it's almost the same. You would do that almost the same as you would with acrylic. You will lay a thin bead of acrylic down, put the items that you want to encapsulate, kind of press them into that wet acrylic, and then you will go over with the cover bead just to kind of, you know, encapsulate everything. Now I'm just going in right here with my brush. Oh, and I did not say this, but the liquid that I am using is 70% alcohol. Now, you can use slip solution. They have slip solution for polygel. But me personally, I choose to use 70% alcohol. Alcohol is also inside of slip solution. That's one of the main ingredients. It's just mixed with a whole bunch of other stuff, but it's the same thing. It's not going to hurt you to use either or. You can choose whatever one you want to choose. Me personally, I mainly stick to alcohol, but I may use the Valentino slip solution here and there. Just saying. But yeah, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Look at how good that looks. And as you can see, it's literally a patting motion. I am just lightly swiping at this, trying to just build this structure. Like you can just look and tell the apex looks good. Everything is structured really well from the cuticle area to the midsection on down, like all the way down to the free edge. It looks great. And I love that. I love that. Such a simple and easy design. Like, I already have one finger down as far as designing. It can't get no easier than that, seriously. And when I'm done and the polygel is all at the free edge, I do just take my finger and kind of cap it off at the end. I do wipe the polygel on that napkin, but if you ever need that polygel that's on the napkin, as long as it's uncured, you can actually use that. That's exactly what I did when I did the 2-bead method. Like you can literally go back and see that I just literally scooped that tiny little bead of polygel on the napkin up and put it directly back on the nail. It can be used as long as it's uncured. After application, we are going to go in right here, and I'm just using this 70% alcohol to help me remove that like sticky layer once the hands have came out the lamp. They still be kind of sticky sometimes. It's cured, it's ready to rock and roll, it's all hardened now, but it still be kind of sticky. So the alcohol is just going to help with that before I start filing. Now, as for filing, I am going in right here and I'm using my hand file, and I shortly after this will be using my e-file. I told y'all that hand filing and e-file is going to get you together every time. My hand file grit is 100 by 180, and as for the sanding band that I will be using when I e-file, it's 240. With the hand file, it's a lot more control than the e-file is. I'm just kind of going in and just doing the sides and filing at the structure just a little bit. Debulking just a little bit, not taking away too much of the structure, but just kind of getting it together the way it's even on all sides. With using the e-file, it's really going to get into them cracks and crevices like you need it to, but with the hand file, it's just a lot more controlled. As far as filing the structure and all of that, it's a lot more controlled. Just saying. Going in, filing the sides. We're going in underneath a little bit. And again, I just feel like I gotta say this. You do have to cure the polygel before getting to this step. Do not try to file with polygel. It's not gonna work. Cure the polygel before getting to the filing. I just feel like I gotta say that. Now, moving on to actually e-filing the nails, I'm just kind of going in side to side and just eyeballing the nail and just making it even on all sides. Do not do to one side what you don't do to the other. Show no favoritism when it comes to filing, because it will show when you do your designing. You want to make the nails even and smooth as possible. Now, the C-curve situation, that is not mandatory. That is optional. That's just what I choose to do. I love a C-curve. I love a C-curve. Seriously. And as for sealing the cuticle, I'm just going to go in around the nail lightly. I'm not going to go around there and start digging in the nail, because the eponychium is right behind the cuticle area. That is the live skin. You don't want it to get bad. So don't go digging. We're just going to lightly seal the cuticle. And yeah, going underneath, just kind of cleaning it up. And this is why I always stress to work on your application, because I really have nothing to do other than just lightly go over the structure. Literally. So that is why I stress to work on your application, because smooth application equals less filing. Seriously, I'm just trying to get it even. You know what I'm saying? We ain't got to reconstruct no nails around here. We just trying to get it even. So yeah, my good sisters, please work on your application. Please. And if you are interested, I do have a full Polygel nail series out right now. So be sure to go and check out all of my previous stuff. It is there for you to use for free to help you out. Just saying. I'm just saying. Going in right here on this nail, same thing, which is cleaning it up. And I did go ahead when I prepped the nails. That's why it's always good for you to pre-shape the nails if you have to. When I first prepped the nails, I went ahead and kind of filed in that C curve. So now all I'm doing is cleaning it up. Seriously. You can go in and do the C curve after application when you start filing. But hey, me personally, I like to go ahead and pre-shape the tips. That way it makes it easier on me. Don't hurt yourself. Make it easier on yourself. Because I did get a comment one time. Somebody said, stop pre-shaping the tips. And I'm like, girl, no. Why would I do that? So yes, I encourage everybody, if the tip is not already shaped to how you want it or need it, go ahead and do that when you prep the tips. Save yourself time and energy and a broken wrist, please. Prep, application, and filing is done. Now I'm just going to go in right here and spray the nails with this 70% alcohol just to remove any dust or debris left behind after filing. And we're just going to give the nails a scrub on top and underneath just to remove anything that may be left behind. And just look at how good that looks. I like this. The base looks great. Now, moving on to designer. Now, as for colored polishes, it will be a mixture between Beetles, D&D, and Valentino. Beetles is linked to my Amazon storefront. Valentino and D&D is not. As for my nail art brushes for this episode, I will be using Beetles and this Art Done brush. Both of these are linked to my Amazon storefront. The link is in the description if you are interested. They both will be helping me get the job done. And you will see why in just a second. Now, I am an artist that loves to do character art. Now, I know a lot of people really can't get with that because they like, what? Draw a character, hand draw it. You tripping. But me personally, I am always up for the challenge. So yeah, if you aren't new here, then you have seen me do the best of the best. And you have seen me pull off some amazing detailed and character art. For this episode, again, it will be a fall nail set. So I'm thinking to do Care Bear. I'm like, I want to tie in a bunch of different designs, but I really want to do a character nail. And I'm like, Care Bear. I want to do Care Bear and tie the Care Bear into this set. So I'm going in right here on the nail and I'm just kind of getting the head shape together. Now, this was not easy by any means, but I was determined and I'm like, I am going to make this happen. I am too deep in now. Let's get it together. I literally had to restart on the head at least twice because it just wasn't really, But again, I'm determined and I'm like, no, I have already locked in and had my mind set on this, so we are going to make it happen. So again, getting the head shape together, getting the proper indentions of the head together, and the third time was the charm. We got it together. Going in right here and we're just going to add in the ears. I'm like, let me go ahead and put the ears along with the head while the head part is still like wet gel. We're going to go ahead and attach the ears and make it easier on myself. And again, with drawing characters, I said this in my previous segment, with drawing characters, it's literally about shapes with me. Like I just look at the character and go for shapes and then I'm like, okay, I can go from there after that. Now with nail art and doing designs, I am trying to knock out as much as I can in one swipe. So after doing the head and the ears of the character, I am going to go in on the next nail before putting the hand and lamp. And I'm just doing this French tip look. When I say that French tip is so clean like no other. Now I will say that I am using D&D white gel polish. And it is a little thin, but you might have to go over it once or twice, but it looks good. It looks good. With doing a French tip is really just two lines, make them come together, make them love each other, make them meet in the middle. As you can see, I just start from the sides and I just bring both of those lines in, make them meet in the middle. And then, yeah, you just kind of clean up the situation, like the smile line situation, and then you go from there. You can just take the polished bottle, like the little brush from the bottle, and just fill it in, or you can go in with your liner brush and fill it in. However you choose, that's on you. To save on time, I'm just gonna fill in majority of it with the polished bottle brush, and then anything else, like as far as like the detail angles, I'll just go with my liner brush and get that together. I hope that made sense. But yeah, just look at how crispy that French tip is. I love this. I love this look. And the French tip method does not depend on if it's an acrylic nail, if it's a polygel nail. This is the same method that I use no matter the base, no matter the product. Now, back to this character nail. When it came to adding the actual features for the Care Bear, I'm like, I don't even know where to start. Now, mind you, I've done hundreds and thousands of characters. So, again, I know what to do, but my mind just went blank. I'm like, I don't know where to start. Do I start with the nose? Do I start with the eyes? Do I do the outline first? And I'm like, just breathe. Just breathe. Go straight for the kill and do the nose. We're going to start with the nose first. So I'm taking my dotting tool right here because I know the dotting tool will give me much more of a clean circle than me actually trying to draw the circle with the brush wheel. So got the dotting tool. We did the nose. Let's go for the eyes. And it was just like, it was really throwing me off because the face is at an angle. But I've done characters where their face have been at an angle and they like turn to the side a little bit. So I'm like, okay, you know what you're doing. Why aren't you executing? And I realized it's all a mind thing. It's all a mind thing. And literally, like, once I got out of my head, I was like, go for the kill. Like, you know what you're doing. You just sitting up here. And at first I was like, okay, I'm finna just foul this off. I'm gonna just have to tell her, like, we're gonna do something else other than the character. And I'm like, no, you're not doing that. No, you're not going to just cop please and just abandon the whole situation. You too deep in. You got the nose. Like, then I cured the eyes. I'm like, okay, I done cured it, but I'm like, I could still file it out. But I'm like, no, just go for the kill. This is literally me talking to myself while I'm doing it. Like, I'm just like, okay, it's in my mind. I am in my head. I need to get out of my head and execute. And then I started doing just that. Like, everything just started coming together. Like, once I told myself, hey, it's all a mind thing, it just started coming together piece by piece. Piece by piece. Again, this is not my first character set ever. Like, I've done characters time and time again. So it was just like, oh, that's too hard. But I'm like, girl, you've done this before. Please get yourself together. Pull yourself together. And then I just started getting it done out of nowhere. Seriously. Like, right here, it still looked a little crazy because it was just like, okay, I don't see the vision. But I'm like, just keep going. It's coming together. Once I got the facial features down, like the face kind of mapped out, I went in and was like, okay, now we can go in and do the outline. And just another tip and trick when you're doing characters, the line weight matters. Like, if you're looking at a character on your phone and you're trying to draw that and translate that to the nail, if the outline of the head is super thin, make the line super thin. Don't just go thick, because then it's going to throw it off. And you want people to be able to look and tell, like, okay, that's supposed to be Care Bear, and not like, dang, okay, I see the vision, but what is that supposed to be? You know what I'm saying? But again, this comes with time. This comes with time. So don't beat yourself up about it. I'm just throwing in some tips and tricks just to kind of help you along the way. And as I'm adding each piece for the character, it's still just kind of like, okay, I'm coming together. Like, you can kind of just tell what it is. Like, okay, that's Care Bear. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of time. I'm just sharing different tips and tricks. And for the super, super, super tiny details, I am using the Beetles brush. The Beetles brush is much more tinier than the Art Done brush is. And the Beetles brush is what's helping me get them like teeny tiny intricate details. Like the tiny heart on the nose, the little freckle pieces like on the nose. I guess those are freckles. I don't want to say freckles. Whatever the little dots is on the nose. Yeah, that's that. And then it really started coming together when I did the eyes. I'm like, okay, I see the vision. I can see the vision. Me filling in the eyes is what did it for me. So I'm like, okay, I see that. I can see that. And it's coming together. It is looking so good. I like this. I am liking this look. He almost didn't make it. This character was almost a distant memory, but I pulled through and I made it happen. Added more details for the eyes, went in right here doing the lashes, and it is coming together with each passing second. And literally, this is a freestyle. She's like, I want this fall set, make something happen. She didn't say the character or anything. She just kind of let me choose the designs, but she did say she wanted something fall. So I'm like, we're going to do the orange Care Bear, and I'm going to tie in a bunch of different designs around it. So yeah, it's coming out. It is important that we execute this, because yeah, this is a freestyle and I want her to be proud of what I came up with. So yeah. And she was like, are you drawing the characters? I'm like, yeah, I'm doing the characters. She was like, oh my God, I've never had character like detailed art on my hands. And I'm like, welcome to the headquarters. Like, I've done nails on her before, but she's never had like, we always just keep it kind of simple when it comes to designs, nothing too major. So in that reference, she's like, I've never had like a detailed character on my hand before, like me coming here. And I'm like, yeah, you know, I just want to show you what I'm capable of, you know? Now, look at how good Care Bear looks. I love the look. Oh my God. Like the whole time I did the nail, I was literally waiting to exhale. And so now that the nail is done, I can literally like breathe, unclench my hands, unclench my brain, and yeah, it's done. Now we're going on to the simple art. We're going to throw in this cow print situation. Thought this would be really cute and cool to add in here. Again, this is my freestyle. You do not have to like it. It's not for everyone, but yeah. After that, we are going to go in and do like this stacked pumpkin situation on this bright yellow nail. I'm just really tying in all the fall colors, just really giving her just at least a tad bit of what she's asking for. And I am just really looking at this bright yellow and I'm like, okay, Valentino, I like this. That bright yellow is really doing it for me. So I'm thinking to do like with the bright yellow background, do like a brown pumpkin and an orange pumpkin. And I'm like, look at how pigmented this brown looks. Okay, Beetles, come through. The Beetles gel polish again can be found linked to my Amazon storefront. The link is below in the description if you are interested. That shade of brown is from their brown light collection. You can look it up on Amazon, like just type in Beetles brown collection and it'll pop up. That brown that I'm using, that was a part of the collection that they have. I don't know if the collection itself is linked to the Amazon storefront, but again, you can just type it in on Amazon and it should come up. Now, as I said in my last episode, if anybody has watched that if you want to do like design stacking, you have to cure the gel polish in between. And design stacking is literally like just putting designs on top of one another, like doing the stacked pumpkins. Of course, in order for me to add that brown, do the brown first and then add that orange on top, I had to have cured those in between. So I just encourage y'all to do that if you want to do like design stacking. Gel polish has to be cured. Let me say that again. Gel polish has to be cured. That is the only way it is going to work. I just recommend you curing in between. That way, what you have, if you like it, you can keep it and it doesn't move or come out of place. So yeah, the pumpkin situation looks good. We're going to go in on top of that and just kind of add this little stem. And yeah, it's looking great. I like that. Now, going back to this hand, I will be working on the encapsulated nail and I will be taking this 𝑯𝒆𝒚 Gloss Who Matte Top Coat over the encapsulated nail just to kind of give it that matte effect, kind of like a faded background situation, if that makes sense. And I'm just going to apply that matte top coat very evenly across the nail, top to bottom. And after curing that for 120 seconds, then I'm just going to go on top of that with this white gel polish. I'm going to do like this xoxo design. Thought that'd be really cute and cool to add. And everything is just really coming together. I am loving this look. I was a little skeptical about doing this because I'm like, I don't know if that's going to work out. But it did. It did. Like we got the character nail going on. We got the encapsulation going on. Everything is just coming together. And I like this. Now, I did the xoxo. The gel polish is still wet. Without curing the gel polish, I did go on top with this white fine glitter that I purchased from my local craft store. And we did this like glitter effect. And then I cured that. But without anything extra, here is the entire finished product for the fall polygel nails. I absolutely love how these nails came out. Everything is doing it for me. Chewing bad, real bad. Like just get into the details of this set. I love these so much. Fall is officially here and these nails are serving just that. I hope somehow, some way that this entire episode has helped somebody along the way. Again, I don't know everything, but what I do know, I will come and share that because I too myself am still learning. So yeah, I'm just here to help y'all out and we are in this together, learning one video at a time. Feel free to comment your thoughts about these nails, anything that you want to see in the future, all that good stuff. I just want to say I love you all. I thank you all. We recently hit 12K and I just want to say I thank y'all so much for helping me build this platform. Be sure to overall like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Comment on this video, like this video so I can continue to reach more people. Be sure to also follow me on all other platforms. And as always, thank y'all for tuning in.